Okay, this week I'm sending all the warm-ups at one time, so hopefully you've had a chance to already do the warm-ups and follow along with me. So on Monday it says find the circumference, so I went ahead to save time and filled this part out. So my name and my shape is a circle. Since my line goes halfway across, that means I have the radius. So I'm using the formula 2 pi r, the one that has the r for radius. My substitution, I keep the 2. Pi is 3.14 and my radius is 4.5. Remember, it does not matter what order I do these in, so I would probably do this first, and 2 times 4.5 is 9, and then I would have to do 3.14 times 9, and my answer would be 28.26. If you have any questions over that one, how I got anything before the video, then just let me know. Okay, moving on to number 2. This one we are finding the area. It's the same circle. So the name is circle, but this time we're using the formula A equals pi r squared. When we substitute, we do not know the area, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the A equals, I'm going to take out pi and put 3.14, and my radius is 4.5. Now I'm going to refer to order of operations, and so I have two things going on here. I have multiplication and I have exponents. And in order of operations, we do this first to save the time and the space here that I have, since I'm not very good with this mouse yet. 4.5 to the second power, which means 4.5 times 4.5, would give me 20.25. So if you've already done this, you should have 20.25 somewhere on your paper. That would take care of that step, but you still have to multiply times the 3.14. So if you're checking your work, hopefully you did all of those steps. And your final answer should be 63.585. If you round it, that's perfectly fine, but this is all the way worked out. So again, you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just want to make sure you have an opportunity to get feedback on your work. Okay, let's look at Wednesdays. Wednesday says find the area of the base, which is the capital B, in this case, which is the triangle. So remember, before we left, we talked about whether or not 3D shapes, they have two names. They have a first name and a last name, just like we do. And the last name is either prism or pyramid. This is a prism because it has two bases. They are opposite of each other. And even though the one right now, it's laying down on a rectangle, if I look opposite, this is not a rectangle. So that cannot be its base. The base is a triangle because opposite is another triangle. So this is a triangular prism. So I'm just going to put tri-prism. So if we were finding the volume, we would be using the capital BH, but this just tells us to find the area of the base, which is a triangle. So really, I'm only finding area of a triangle, and area equals, and this is the step that most of us miss on triangles, is forgetting to write down the 1/2 BH. The other mistake we sometimes make is pulling the correct numbers. So we've done a pretty good job of making sure that we get the correct height. So on substituting, I still have 1/2. If I'm just looking at the triangle here, the base is 6. So I have times 6, and the height, remember, has to go straight up and down. You do not measure your height slanted, so we would not be using 6. We would be using 4 in this case. Doesn't matter what order you do these in. So remember, multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. So I would probably cut 6 in half first, which would give me 3. And then I have 3 times 4, which would be 12. So on this shape here, once again, we weren't finding the volume yet. We were only finding the area of the base, which is the same thing as the capital B. And so for this case, it is 12. This area of the triangle is 12. Okay, and Thursday's warm-up is the same shape from Wednesday's. We're just building on it. So I already told you why that was a triangular prism. This time we are finding the volume, which means the formula that I need to be substituting here needs to be the volume formula of a prism. So that is V equals capital B, lowercase h. And this kind of gives you a helpful hint if you don't remember how to do the volume, but I'm going to try to do this the best I can. So remember, the capital B means the area of the base, and what we were doing before is drawing that shape around the capital B. So bear with me while I try to do this with the mouse. The shape of the base is a triangle. Remember, that should match what the first name of the shape is. And I actually already found that above on Wednesday, and the area of the triangle was 12. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute 12 here because we already did that yesterday. And if I was laying this on the triangle, the height of the prism would be this line here, which is 14. So your answer is the answer to 12 times 14, which would be 168. Your unit of measurement is centimeters, and since this is 3D, and since we're finding volume, that's centimeters cubed. Those are your warm-ups for this week, so if you have any questions over them, feel free to let me know. If you missed one, try to go back and fix it and send it to me. If you're sending them to me, go ahead and send it so I can grade that, and if you're turning them in to the school, then make sure you correct it before you turn it in.